Everybody ready to rock and roll? All right. Is it called to order? That's okay. All right. Thank you all very much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and get our meeting started this evening. I've got 6 o'clock on the Verizon timepiece, so let's go. Pastor McClure, if you would be so kind.
Scripture says, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end of those ways are the ways of destruction. We're praying tonight that we all follow the ways of God and stay in peace. Let us pray. Eternal and gracious God, our Father, we are so honored tonight to be in your presence in this place at this time to conduct the business of our great city. We're praying, our God, that you would strengthen the mind and the resolve, the hearts of our mayor, this council, and all those that will be a part of these proceedings, and allow all things to be done decently and in order. God, we're so grateful for the progress that you're giving our city, how you're making us a city that sits upon the hill, a beacon light to all those that are trying to find their way. God, we thank you that Irondale is becoming that North Star for this state, and we're grateful for that now. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Ready? Let's play it.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated.
Thank you, Pastor. And once again, thank you for everybody that has joined us this evening. We'll call it to order. Roll call. Councilman London. Present. Councilwoman Cuellar. Councilman Box. Here. Councilman Sims.
Present.
And myself present as well. First order of business, if we could get some movement on the regular city council meeting minutes from January 21st of 2025.
Move we approve the minutes from January 21st, 2025.
Second.
Motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Second order of business would be the payment of the current bills. Could we get a movement on that?
Make a motion, we pay the current bills in the amount of $546,261.93.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. All right. Mr. Mayor, you have the floor, sir.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to say good evening to everyone. Glad that you can come out to hear the deliberations that are going on in the city of Irondale. I'm going to start with my verbal report, which will begin with the calendar events that we have in the city of Irondale. Then I have 2 personal announcements to make, and then I'm going to celebrate our unsung heroes that are with us tonight, and that's our Public Works Department. All right. On March the 1st, we have Take Me Out to the Ball Game. The baseball park should be open at that time, and we're having an in-house softball game. We have Team Stewart going against the others. Team Stewart is stacked. I mean, we have 64 players. We have 34 players on Team Stewart, and we have 30 on the others. And we're really looking forward to it. We want all of the community to come out to be able to join. If you ever seen the Savannah Bananas, it's going to be more like that than a real softball game. We're going to have at least 6 to 7 people in the outfield. Just come out. We're going to have a good time. They're going to pull the grill out and have hot dogs and hamburgers and beverages and chips. But this is the way that we're going to kick open our new Ruffner Park Sports Complex. On February the 13th, I'll be giving the State of the City address at Church of the Highlands. It begins at 11:30 a.m. Tickets are $25. You can be able to purchase your ticket from the Irondale Chamber at www.irondale.chamber.org. Also, this is Black History Month. We have a student art project. Submit a painting, drawing, poem, or essay that speaks to the 2025 theme of Black History Hits Home. The deadline is February the 13th, and winners will be announced on February the 18th. We have a CPR class that is scheduled for February the 8th. That's on a Saturday at 8 a.m. It's going to be at the Fire Department Admin Building, which is really the old DABS building. And if you want to register to participate in that, it'll be www.cityofirondale.al.gov. On last night, we had an opportunity at the UAB in North Texas state basketball game at the Bartow Arena to be able to celebrate Lieutenant Mark Meadows before the game. They did a tribute to him. There was probably about 30 employees that were in attendance, city councilors, Councilman London, Councilman Sims, and Councilman Spivey was there. Police department was there. We really had a good time. It was a close game. It really went well. We really enjoyed it. Something that I'm thinking about, seeing if we could do that on a regular basis. We had so much fun at the game. On Friday, February the 7th, we will talk about We Got Game Night. That's going to begin at our Irondale Civic Center at 5:30. There's going to be bingo, board games, free pizza, and popcorn. Register for Family Feud, or are you all still taking teams for Family Feud? I'm sorry, disregard that part. We have enough teams for Family Feud. Well, if you can't put a team in, just come out, be able to enjoy the event anyway. Then on April the 12th, we have Young Entrepreneurs Day. That's going to be at Shades Valley High School. That's from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. We're going to have young entrepreneurs from the age of 5 to 20 that will be showcasing their talents and their goods, selling products, and completing for scholarship funds. I ask you all to come out and to be a part of it. But if you want to be able to, I'll give you the web address for it. It's tinurl.com/Irondale YE25. And then beginning April the 3rd, we will start our Citizen Engagement Institute for 6 weeks, where we will allow wonderful department heads and come and to be able to share about their departments that help our citizens to be able to understand how to be able to navigate through the political process. All right, my next announcement is I'm going to ask everybody to pull out their cell phone tonight. If you would please pull out your cell phone tonight. I'm going to just read an excerpt from this, and it says, Mayor James Douglas Stewart Jr. is thrilled to introduce TextMyGov, a convenient and smart text messaging service to enhance your city communications with citizens. This service will enable residents to effortlessly receive important notifications and easily find specific information by texting the city. Now, Emma's getting ready to send out a text to everybody's phone that we have in the database that lives in the city of Irondale. If you do not receive the text, make sure you get with Emma before you leave so that you can be added to the database. Emma, are you ready?
Boom.
Isn't it cool to be able to see communications taking place just like that at your city council meeting? Emma, thank you for that. That was a idea that Emma was innovative and creative to be able to bring this to the city of Irondale. We're always looking for ways to be able to improve how we communicate with our citizens. You all are probably wondering why the big wine cup is sitting up there in front of the mayor. But I just wanted to let you all know that I was pleasantly surprised On last Monday, I was voted by the Trustville Tribune to be the Person of the Year. And I did not think that the people at the Tribune was paying attention what was going on in the city of Irondale. But not only is that award for me, but it's for everybody that's in this room, because you all consistently inspire me to go out every day to be the best that I can be and to be able to represent Irondale in a very positive way. There is some wine in the cup if you want to get a drink before we leave tonight. Make sure you meet me at the back door, but thank you again. And then on this Monday must be my lucky day. I want to read this email that I received on yesterday. It says, on behalf of the Philip A. Morris for Design Arts Fund, a component fund of the Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham, we are excited to let you know that you have been nominated to attend the Walkable City Executive Education Program at the Harvard Graduate School of Design. The Morris Fund Advisory Committee is committed to supporting people and projects that help advance Philip's passion for power of design arts to enhance buildings and communities. This program is funded by the Morris Fund. They're going to provide me with $3,000 to be able to cover whatever expenses that go along with the program. And I was very honored because I wasn't expecting to be able to receive another award from Harvard, two within the same year. But I just wanted to be able to share that positive information with you all to let you know that your mayor is doing everything that he can to be the best mayor, to be able to provide the best services. And to be able to do that, you have to be able to get the education to do it. And I'm honored, again, to be able to go and represent the city of Irondale as one of the Walkable City executive individuals to participate in their education program. And finally, I will close with I call them unsung heroes, because the only time people mention their name is when their garbage doesn't get picked up, their recycling doesn't get picked up. Well, we usually don't hear any claps for these individuals. We only hear complaints. And I thought that because of all the hard work that they performed during the holiday season, you know that we did something a little bit different this year. We made sure that we picked up everything, regardless if people had it in the trash can or not. People didn't bag up stuff. People left stuff around the side of the can. And these guys still picked it up and made everything happen. When we had one of the coldest Januaries in the history of the state of Alabama, these guys were still out there every day, humping, doing their job. And I just wanted to make sure that we had a chance to be able to honor them with the great work that they do every day for the city of Irondale. Hopefully there's a resolution that's on the agenda tonight that will get adopted. And if it's passed by the council, we will not only give you a certificate, but you probably want this check for $1,000 more than you want this certificate. I'm going to come down to the front, and as I call your name, I'll ask you to come to the front to be able to get your certificate and your checks in the mail. You all are probably saying, well, why is the mayor in blue jeans and tennis shoes and a sweatshirt? Well, this morning, Rich and I was on Talk of Alabama to be able to promote our opening at the sports complex. And I didn't think that the proper attire was to wear a bow tie and to be all dressed up. So Rich and I want to say Rich did an outstanding job this morning promoting our baseball field. So that's why we're looking casual today. But the first person that I want to provide this award to, and he's been at the city, I want to say longer than any current employee we have. I think you all know who it is. He's smiling back there as we speak. But James Hill. James has been with the city for about, what, James, 46 years? Okay. Well, come on down, James. You cut down trees that God planted before you got it. Okay, the second individual is Kenny Howe. Kenny? The next person, and he's only been here a hot second, that's Mr. James Smitherman. Next is Mr. Cole Russell. Next on board is Mr. Elton Thomas. Mr. Jordan Miles. Okay. Mr. Devontae Redwine. Next up, Mr. George Watkins.
Like change out my uniform for real, but you know, like,
City council.
And last but not least, Mr. Patrick Mack. These are the guys that make it happen Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Recycling on Monday, garbage on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. These are our unsung heroes. The only time we hear their name mentioned is when somebody has a complaint. But we can truly say tonight we are changing that narrative. I want to make sure that you know that we appreciate everything that you do. And now you got to work a little bit harder because everybody can see your face. But also, but also they have a wonderful group of individuals that lead them, and they're here tonight. So we're going to start with, I sent him to he went up to Kirkwood by the river, and he always wears his shirt open so you can see his chest. And I asked him, I said, Tim, you're going up here with these senior citizens, please button your shirt up. Well, we have with us tonight Mr. Tim Penny. Mr. Michael Wallace, better known as Boo. That's his government name. His government name is Michael Wallace. And then we have Frank Pennington that leads them along with Alfred Minifield. Hey, will you all come down? We all want to get a photo with all of you all. Hey, like you like each other. Someone's in the front. Find your window. Come on, Mark. Find your window.
Got everybody. Ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you for all your time.
And while they're clearing the room, I just wanted to add one more thing. Last week, Emma, Rich, and myself had a chance to go to the Alabama Recreation and Park Association conference that was held at Auburn University. We really learned a lot of important things about how to continue to build our recreation programs here in the city. And I would say that if you all could have seen Rich, he was in his element. He was really working the room. I was just amazed at all of the things that he was doing. So we're very glad that Rich was, or as Lee would say, she's the one that hired him. But we really had a good time at that conference, and you'll see some of the things that we learned implemented here in the city. Council President, that now concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. Just to piggyback for anybody who might be watching at home that can't see or might not have received the text, the number is 91896. Text Irondale Info, no spaces, Irondale Info to 91896. Just for the people that are with us at home. That being said, we'll go ahead and turn it over to the council member reports. Councilman London.
Thank you. I got one question about the, Rich made me answer this question, Mayor. Did y'all see anything about alternative baseball down there? Rich. Hey, Rich, just had a question, Councilman London. Did you see anything about alternative baseball at the meeting down there in Auburn?
Nothing about
Okay. That's just something that's been on my heart and mind. We'll talk about it, Mayor. We'll talk about it later. But thank y'all for going down there, and I think Irondale Ruffner Park is going to be fantastic. You know, so I'm excited. We're gonna beat the Mayor's team in softball too. So I think they got us on the other team. Got me on the other team. I think I'm on others. Yeah. But thank you for doing that. Yes, sir. Looking forward to that. I have two things. Actually three congratulations. One of them, two of them at Irondale Middle School. Irondale Middle School volleyball won the championship. Girls volleyball won the championship. Irondale Middle School boys basketball are champions. And then also we have a young lady at Shades Valley High School named Emma Crowder, who signed a Division I swim scholarship to Eastern Illinois University. The first Shays Valley swimmer to sign a Division I scholarship.
Okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm gonna reach out to her. I'm gonna try to get them all down here at one council meeting so we can recognize, especially her. That's being the first. That's no other. Being the first to do that. So that's pretty nice. So we're gonna make sure we get her down here and make sure we recognize her and her family. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Linden. Councilman Quayle, your report.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Couple of announcements. First, I do want to congratulate all our public works employees. Fantastic. Everyone always rants and raves about Irondale having the best trash collection, recycling, public works overall. Very top-notch team that Mr. Pennington and Mr. Menifeld have put together. And I just want to thank everyone that's a part of that team for all that they do for our city and its residents. Secondly, I was very happy to hear that UAB had a basketball game that was commemorating Lieutenant Mark Meadows. I was not aware of this going on. I definitely would have tried to have been there had I known. And thirdly, I've received numerous requests, and I've also seen things on Facebook in regard to the public hearing that's on our agenda. And it's just, we just need to improve on communicating with the council. None of the council members were aware of the notification, what it entailed, what we're going to be discussing. And as I communicated with our attorney, she can correct me if I misinterpreted anything that she said. I was wanting to know, well, first of all, why was our council agenda altered for the public hearing? What is this about? And if this is a council issue here, then yes, there's some ways that we can work with it by means of a council work session or other types of meetings and still get that notification out so that the council's aware of what it is that we're trying to accomplish. Well, then I learned that it's not actually a city asset. The Civic Center and the land that's around there is actually owned by the PBA. So the next question is, well, gee whiz, why didn't the PBA get a notification, work with the city on this so that we could be on the same, in other words, singing out of the same hymn note? And we're all aware of what's going on. So I'm asking that we please do what we can, working as a team with the council so that we can respond to residents when they're asking these questions and they know what is going on as well. These are my comments. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilwoman Quayle. Councilman Box.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everybody. So that's the third good evening you've gotten. Well, actually, probably the fourth, because I think the mayor started it off. I got to meet with Miss Wright at the Senior Citizen Center today, which is a nice tour and very informative. And I encourage everybody, 55 or not, but if you're 55 or over, please avail yourself there. If you're not, go by, get the calendar, see if there's some things that you have some seniors that might be interested in doing. She's really putting a lot of stuff together and working hard. There's a couple of things, Mayor, that I'd like to try to help her out with. If that's okay, you and I'll get with that together. I spoke with Mr. Frank about it, and just a few things I know that hopefully we'll be able to do after a little research. And with that said, I always want to tell you thank you to our public safety people and the abatement board for keeping our city cleaned up. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Box. Councilman Sims.
Thank you for everyone here joining us this evening and watching online at home. Let's see, first, Holiday Gardens Neighborhood Association. Next Tuesday will have its February meeting. That's the 11th at 6:30 at the Senior Activity Center. Congratulations, Mayor, to your Person of the Year. Also, thank you for recognizing the guys that are out there in the all sorts of weather that I don't want to be out in, doing all sorts of things I don't want to have to do. Recognizing them in Public Works, and to those guys, thank you for the hard work that y'all do every week, week after week, so that our city looks as amazing as it does. I think that's it. Thank you.
All right, fair enough. Thank you, Councilman Sims. As far as my report tonight, Thank you, big heartfelt to the Public Works. You guys do a fantastic job of keeping everything tight and the way it needs to be and working and orderly and the grounds kept nicely and all that kind of stuff. That's huge when someone drives through a city and is checking it out for the first time. That's kind of the initial impact. So that's huge. I also want to shout out Jared and his crew. Saturday night, a couple weeks back, I had the pleasure of taking my two girls to a Girl Scout daddy-daughter dance, and as we're pulling through 20th and 2nd North, there's water all over the place. So I called it in, and by the time I was coming back, they pretty much already had it handled. So just fantastic, swift response to manage a wonderful asset of our city and take care and keep everybody safe. There was no water pressure issues. It was just a busted main or something, but they locked it down. So I appreciate their swift response. That concludes my report for the evening. At that time, what we would look for would be any public comments on non-agenda items. So once again, non-agenda items, if it's on the piece of paper in your hand, that's not what we're talking about right now. Any public comments on non-agenda items? Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Gretchen Thiel, 2205. I work for a living, and I work in residential houses sometimes. I went out to put a garbage bag in their garbage can, and somebody that had worked prior to me put a bunch of trash in there without a bag. Please put your trash in bags. It was awful. And the people that pick up your trash don't want that. And they should only be spending a couple of seconds at our trash can. But anyway, please put your trash in bags.
Thank you. Any other public comments on non-agenda items? Thank you, Chief. Yes, sir.
I'm Mary Scherer at 5276 Amber Hills Road. I had a couple of quick comments. Some of them came from Facebook. Just me trying to find out about the public hearing. But also someone had posted something about the debt, not here, just FYI. If y'all are questioning the amount of debt in the city, I'm not sure if it was quoted appropriately, but it was in the bond documents, Appendix A6. No one missed doing this. Our bond people are, they're quite capable. Anyway, bond document A6. Also, when I was looking for this land water conservation fund, someone on Facebook said, go to the Department of Interior, and I was able to find some documents. I didn't find anything about the grants if we're talking about grants coming up in this hearing, but.
Let's keep this to non-agenda items.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Okay.
just the lead statement, sorry. I did find some of their partners are the Trust for Public Lands, and they have a resource library. In that resource library, they talked about the use of artificial turf in parks and schoolyards. And to keep it short, there is PFAS in artificial turf. It's in the base fibers. The top fibers, the grass, can have lead and chromium. So I just suggest that maybe we have it tested. Not all of it, just that they're saying don't use it. That's their recommendation, is use sand and engineered wood chips rather than this. So this is coming from the Trust for Public Lands.
Thank you. Any other comments on non-agenda items?
Good evening. It's Judy Wilson, 3510 Belmont Road. I too would encourage anyone who's not been to the citizens engagement to go. You have an opportunity to learn about all the different departments, who to go to if you need something. They're very good at explaining things. Also, you get to meet other, your neighbors maybe you didn't know before, or some other citizens. It's really a good opportunity. Plus, they feed you supper. I would like to make a point about the reason we have laws, I think I spoke to this last time. We make laws to have them followed, and it's for our protection, for the city, for the citizens, for our properties. Well, I was riding around recently and noticed some of the new construction going on, and they all had these nice little porta potties out in front of their property where they're working. But I came over by the fire department on Old Leeds Road, in the I Am Love construction area there for months and months and months. It's been under construction. They have no porta-john, have never had one, and I called in and asked about it. The fourth week, I finally got an answer that they had failed and refused to put the porta-john on their property. Have they been penalized in any way? But I finally went back there last week, and they finally have a porta-john on their property after all these months and months and months of construction on that property. Why? Do we need more employees here? Or, with so much going on in the city, maybe we need to hire some more people. I appreciate all of our public works, the fire department, the police department, whomever, but maybe not only give them raises, which you have done, which has been nice, maybe they need some additional employees in these different departments, if you would consider that.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments on non-agenda items? Yes, ma'am.
And I'm Gwen Moore. I live at 5355 Heritage Lane. And sorry I was late, and I hope I'm not repeating something that's been brought up. But I have been concerned, and I'm relatively new to Irondale, but I was concerned about what I was reading about the water. And then I was aware that maybe there hasn't been since April of last year, there was a public report that gave the safety of the water. Is it true that we have not had another published official testing of the water? Because we were one of 4 that had that forever chemical in it, which is horrible. I mean, it causes cancer and strokes and death, and so I'm just new. So the alarm bells went off. So I was like, so where are we on that?
Council President, do you mind, because this is like something going out that is creating fear among our citizens, and I would rather go ahead and answer it instead of not providing her with the information?
I would like for you to do that because I've been seeing it too. It seems that and I've paused your clock, so I'm not taking this time against you. I've seen a lot of the information regurgitated over and over again, and then I look out my back window and I see this wonderful solution that we put in place. So please, by all means, enlighten the crowd and everybody listening on Facebook what we have done.
We have spent over $1 million to make sure that the water levels or falls below what is called the MCLs, the minimum contaminated levels. We are tested every quarter. Those reports are at ADEM if you want to go find them and to be able to read them in their entirety. But also I can tell you the last time that the wells were tested in December that it fell below 1 part per trillion.
Sounds good, because it was over 40.
Well, you're talking about maybe.
But now, Mayor, let me ask you something. Is that published? I mean,
It's published. You can go to ADEM. What I'm telling you, you can find all of this information at ADEM. ADEM has all of the information that you need because that's what we have to turn the reports into.
I will go ahead and put a pause on this since this is normally not a Q&A.
Okay.
Is there anything that you would like to say about non-agenda items
Yeah,
aside from the
and
water
this-
issue with
yeah,
the last
right.
48 seconds of your
No,
time?
that's okay.
Okay.
I just would not be honest if I didn't say I am so unhappy with those of you that voted. And Mayor, I appreciate that you want to go to Harvard, but to me, that is money that $17,500 when we have people in this city that are you know, it's hard to, you know, make their ends meet and they struggle. And I just think that is not a good use of money. And I was sitting here and I thought it could have gone against the concession equipment. There was a $20,000, well, 17,500 would have paid for a lot of concession equipment. And that's going to last a lot longer than 3 weeks. And I don't begrudge you going. I just don't think the citizens of Iredell should pay for it. I rest my case.
Thank you.
Council President Biden,
Councilwoman Cuellar?
I would like us, you know, when we had a water committee meeting back in April of last year, we gave this information to our residents. I would like us to schedule a water committee meeting so that we can do this. We should not be telling our residents you need to go to Aiden to get it. We should be providing this information to our residents, just as we did last April of 2024.
I think that sounds like a fantastic idea.
Council committee meeting.
Let's circle up after this is done so we can continue. It's not there. We'll schedule this not on their time, but we will schedule it. And when I say their time, like while we're trying to conduct this meeting, but we'll go ahead and schedule it after. So no one leaves after we're done with this meeting. We'll go ahead and knock it out. Fair enough? Thank you. All right. Do we have any other comments on non-agenda items? All right. With no other comments on non-agenda items, we'll go ahead and get into our first public hearing. I do hear the concerns about the placement of this item. I understand it to be a time saver, so most of our public hearings are usually towards the end. I skipped over a piece. I apologize. I'll circle back around. But to finish that thought, to anybody that wanted to speak on this public hearing, could go ahead and get that knocked out as we're talking it, and we'll get into the rest of the agenda afterwards. But before I continue and ask for a motion, are there any reports of any boards or non-council committees? The blue hat's what triggered me, John. Thank you. Good evening. Greetings, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is John Schoen, and I'm reporting about the Exchange Club activities in the past month and a half or 2 months. We've been quite active, and I'd like to thank Councilman Cuellar for welcoming our guests from all over the state at a meeting we had over here at in Irondale for representatives. We had a great discussion. Unfortunately, Mr. Spivey was busy and everybody else was busy, so Cindy filled in. I appreciate it very much, Cindy. We had about 25 people there from all over the state, and we had a great discussion about the Panama Canal, which is kind of being popular right now. And we got a lot of good information from Nikki Sepsis, who spoke at the senior center about a month and a half ago, and I got a hold of him, and I hadn't seen him in 50 years. I met him BM, it was before marriage, and he's quite a character. He's traveled all over the United States and all over the world. So, and he'd been to the Panama Canal about 5 times. I've got an hour of his speech. Anybody's interested in seeing it, we can show it to you. Also, our Exchange Club has been involved in the giveaway of trees. This Arbor Day week is coming up. It's the last full week of this month. And contact the Exchange Club or call me at John Schoen at 205-317-0168 regarding trees. We'll have probably about 300 trees, and we're going to be giving them away for free. I mean, can't beat free. And also, I'd like to comment about Miss White, our ISAC director. She's doing a great job and doing a fantastic job. And the men's coffee for all those characters over 55, there are some of us, at 9 o'clock Thursday morning, you're going to have a coffee, and it'll be a good meeting. She's putting on some good people. The flags are requested by our governor to be flown at half-staff tomorrow in recognition of the death of one of our representatives, Mr. Cabanas from Mountain Brook and Jefferson County. So the flag, if you have a question, will be flown at half-staff, hopefully, from sunrise to sunset tomorrow only. Let's see here. Guess that's about all I've got as far as our exchange close is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Any other reports of any boards or non-council committees? Fair enough. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. So that being said, to my prior point, we'll go ahead and get into a public hearing to discuss renovations to the land surrounding the Irondale Civic Center and possible options for LWCF funding. Can I get a motion for a public hearing?
Move we leave regular council meeting and enter a public hearing.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second by Councilman Lennon. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed and abstentions? Fair enough. All right. Mayor, if you'd be so kind.
Well, first of all, I wanted to say that this public hearing has nothing to do with the design of the building. What it does have to do with is that there's $1 million that's sitting out there for a grant opportunity. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would hear people arguing about getting free money. But, you know, I learn new things every day. But this is about applying for a grant through ADECA to be able to provide over $1 million with a 50% match. We already have budgeted $18 million to be able to do renovations at the Civic Center. Some of the things that were considered to be a part of this renovations, and people are going to say, well, where did it come from? Who told you, Mayor, that you could go out and add these things to the project? Well, do you all remember when we had Blueprint Irondale? And everybody said what they wanted to be able to have in the parks and the amenities that they wanted to have in the city for the next 20 years? That's where the information come from. And then I want to ask you, do you remember when we did the park master plan? And I stood right there in the center of that floor on November the 28th of 2023 to be able to provide information to everyone about what you all decided that you wanted to be able to have in your parks. That's where the information come from. Didn't come from Mayor Stewart, didn't come from Assistant Fire Chief Doss. We are only carrying out what you asked us to do. Some of the things that are being considered is a splash pad, pickleball courts, mountain bike track, jogging track, a 1,500 seat amphitheater, tearing down the pavilion. By the way, have any of you all been up there to look at the outside of the Civic Center since you have the audacity to criticize what's going on? Probably not, because you would see that the condition of it is not in its best state, but we want to be able to build a brand new pavilion. Those are the things that are being considered for this grant of $1 million to be able to save the city money. And you have to have a public hearing to be a part of your submission to be considered for the grant. That pretty much sums up why we're having this public hearing. Also, this application will go in from the PBA, not from the city of Irondale. The city of Irondale does not own the land. The PBA owns the land, and the city leased the land from the PBA. Hopefully you all will remember that in August, we borrowed $60 million to be able to do all of these renovations. Well, it was a part of that lease. This is the information, and this is why we're having the public hearing tonight.
Councilman London?
No question.
Councilman London, no questions. Councilwoman Cuellar? Councilman Box?
No, I'm good. Thanks for the explanation, Mayor.
Okay. Councilman Sims?
I'm just glad there's a source out there that can help us with $1 million worth of money we don't have to provide. Thank you.
And I have no comments as well, since it's a public hearing. If there's anyone that would like to comment specifically about this item, about receiving this grant, now is the time to have your 2 minutes. Once again, we're not going to get into the design. This is not what that's about. But if you have any comments about receiving the grant to help us do some of this work, now is your time. Any comments about this item for public hearing? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Catherine Hogwood at 1314 Creekside Glen. And I just want to thank you for reaching out and having this grant. And I want to thank the City Council for your investment in outdoor recreation for our city. And I just want to speak for a moment about the importance of that. That's the reason that the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs has these grants available. There are numerous Alabama programs right now that are supported by significant data that show the importance of outdoor recreation to improve the quality of life for our residents and to attract new residents and to new businesses to our city. The Innovate Alabama initiative to recruit innovative and tech-focused businesses to our state emphasized the importance of building our outdoor recreation infrastructure, and that was what it was going to take for those highly skilled workers who want to live in close proximity to outdoor recreation opportunities. We offer that on every end of Irondale, from Ruffner to the Cahaba, and I appreciate undertaking to something of this scale. So I just want to thank you for helping us build our community and improve economic development in the city by focusing on outdoor recreation. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments about this particular item for this public hearing?
Question. So this is not about input about the possible use of the land, it's only about receiving the funding.
Correct.
Well,
Any other-
it's use on the side, on the recreation outside of the building. That's what the grant is for. It has nothing to do with the construction or deconstruction or removing the temple, any of that stuff. But all those things that I mentioned could be a part of this discussion.
But this discussion is about receiving the grant more
Yes.
than anything.
Right.
Yeah, that's the. Oh,
Park, things like that, is to talk through that.
okay. So I'm mistaken. All right. So if you have something you would like to speak about on that.
Judy Wilson again. I know everybody has a different idea about what's recreational. I have a great suggestion, and that's about using part of the land for community gardening. It's a very healthy activity, very productive. People can grow, whether it's vegetables, fruits, plants, flowers, whatever. And the city can participate in it or not, whatever. But many, many countries do this for their citizens, especially for those who maybe live in apartments and don't have properties where they can have a garden. And it would be so, everybody's interested in health and healthful activities. This is a very healthy activity, is working in your gardens. And it's very rewarding. And you can also, if you're not a very good gardener, you can get assistance maybe from other people who are good gardeners. And I know I'm short, Mayor, but I don't like being talked down to.
I don't think I was talking to you.
Any other comments about this public hearing? Point of order, guys. Thank you.
I have just, Mary Scher, excuse me, 2 questions. So we're gonna match this. So we're gonna take part of our 18 million and use 1 million for the grant to get another million. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then, will this also include the area that's not close to the building? Could we put in hiking trails or walking trails, or like you said, somebody said bike paths?
All those things are a part of are being considered for the recreational component for the grant.
So it's not just right here by the building, it's the big piece of property.
It's the 20 acres that the building currently sits on.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments on this item? All right, with no further comments on this item, I would ask for a motion to leave.
I did want to clarify something. I don't think our residents were complaining.
Is your mic on?
Yes, I don't think our residents were complaining. I saw the Facebook questions by Jenny Brown and others. They were simply wanting to know what this was about. It wasn't complaining. And I know you didn't have an answer. Counselor Sims didn't have an answer. I didn't have an answer. I don't know of any council member that knew what this was about. And that's why it's important that we communicate what is this about, so that we can then respond to the community and let them know. Nobody was complaining. Nobody was. And I think it would be helpful if our residents were provided with a list that says, here's what, based on Blueprint Irondale, here's what is based on other, the Parks and Rec hearings, or apparently there were hearings, I wasn't aware of it, but the park master plan, here's what some people said they would like. Give them a list so that they can look at it, because nobody knows. What are we talking about putting on these acres?
I think we'll have to disagree on that. Now, granted, obviously my assessment of the public hearing that I vocalized was a very poor understanding of what had been communicated to me. So to self-deprecate a little bit further, I messed that up. It was communicated to me with what this was about.
I
I
didn't
just
know
dropped the
either.
ball on it. Now, in regards to anything that might possibly be on the land, to go back to the mayor's prior comments, we've had meeting after meeting after meeting about what was wanted on the land. So I jumped to a natural conclusion that that would be everything that we had talked about in these various meetings that all the citizens wanted. That's what was on the table. So that's where I went with it.
So could we put out a list as to what summarizing what the public is wanting on it?
Maybe we should repost that video link.
Yes, I mean, I did
That's great.
I did the park thing in, like I said, November 28 of 2023. I went through each individual park and I said what was going to be done in each individual park, and everybody sitting up on this dais was here when I went through that and provided that information. But I will be having a meeting either in March or April to present the entire park master plan to the city of Irondale.
Is there, I know there was a video done prior. Could we maybe just rethrow that back up? Would that be able to be done?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was the, I guess we can find whatever the Facebook or the YouTube and
Right.
can queue it back up and people can
If
go
we
through
could cue
it.
back up and just throw it out
Yes,
there.
and the only
that'd be
thing that
great.
I would say, if you want information, I don't know why you all call everybody except for me to be able to get information, and I'm the one that sponsors the actual resolution, which leads me to believe you really don't want the information. You just want to find something to criticize somebody about.
We're going to go ahead and I'm going to ask for a motion to close this public
Well,
hearing.
Jenny Brown
Move.
had
Second.
asked that
Motion to
question
close,
too.
seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
His name was on there too. That's not true.
Okay. Is this pertaining to the public hearing? To the grant? Mr. Doss has a comment regarding the grant. Can he make that comment now after the public hearing's been closed? Okay. No, you're fine. I just want to make sure it didn't need to be in the record of the public hearing.
As part of the grant process, I have a form here that I've got to get an attendance form where everyone signs it. And there's a checkbox at the very end that says whether you support or oppose the grant, the application for the grant. I'm gonna pass this out if everyone would please sign and check whether you support or oppose the grant.
Point of order, Council
Point of order.
President. Is this for employees and citizens of Irondale, or can anybody in attendance sign?
I would defer to legal on that.
It's anybody in attendance.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, with that going on, I see no reason why we can't continue with our agenda this evening. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get into the deliberation of item number 1. Resolved that resolution 2025 R27, man, my glasses, I think I need to up the prescription. Assents to the vacation of an easement on the property located at 4129 Brookmont Drive, Irondale, Alabama 35210, as requested by property owners Robert Adams and Peter Adams. I believe that we have one of the Adams here with us tonight. Sir, if you could come present your item.
Robert Adams.
Thank you, sir.
So with the assistance of Wagan surveyors, what we have asked to do is remove a utility easement that runs through this piece of property. So I understand, in fact, they did better research than I did when I bought it 20 years ago. At some point in time, there was an intention to take this 5 acres and turn it into several lots. But my brother and I bought the 5 acres and do not intend to turn it into several lots. So there's a utility easement that runs through what is the likely location that we would build a house. And the piece of property in question has approximately 100 feet of elevation difference between the floor of the valley to the top. So I'm going to have to be careful where I cite the location of the house, because I'm not sure how far I'm going to be able to dig in before I hit rock. So that's the purpose of this removal, is it serves no purpose. It doesn't run from anywhere to another neighborhood. My utilities will end up coming in off at the end of the cul-de-sac. Any questions? or-
Fair enough. Councilman London, any questions for the gentleman?
No.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes, Mr. Adams, I'm
Yes, ma'am.
Councilwoman Cindy Cuellar, and I represent the district. I did drive out there this past Saturday to take a look at it, to try to get a better understanding of where the easement was. And I saw a car in a shack, looked like it didn't seem to be very old. There's a driveway that goes up off that cul-de-sac, that goes up. And I was looking for lot 3, and I'm assuming it abuts that driveway?
Yeah, the piece of property in question, there are 2 houses that abut this property.
Yes, sir.
That have driveways. At this time, my brother and I don't have a driveway. That's one of the tasks to do, is to get a road cut in to where we can get to where we would build a house.
Okay, so is the car, does that belong to one of the houses that's off the
I
driveway?
would imagine so. It's not.
Okay,
not
so
mine or-
you're on the other side.
Yeah, basically,
Okay.
at the end of that cul-de-sac, there are 2 houses
Yes,
that
sir.
are built that have driveways. My piece of property kind of comes into a little wedge.
Okay.
I'm not sure how many feet I have on the cul-de-sac. It's not a lot.
Okay.
It's kind of a wedge-shaped piece that spreads out and then
Yes,
cuts
sir.
back in as it goes
Yes,
towards
sir.
the Cahaba.
Well, thank you for the explanation, because I was a little confused as I was looking at this and trying to find that easement.
My pleasure.
And,
Yeah, the
you've
easement
helped me.
comes from, there's an adjacent street up at the top of the hill. And I think that easement runs from somewhere in the middle of that subdivision, basically perpendicular to the stream.
Yes, thank you. No
You're
further
very welcome.
questions.
Thank you. Councilman Box?
Thank you, Council President. Sir, you may have mentioned it earlier, but I just wanted to reiterate, is this for your primary residence, your brother's primary residence, or a shared primary residence?
My brother and I live together in Hoover. We own this piece of property. In fact, have owned it since, I think, 2004, but would like to build a residence on this property.
Okay, sir, very good. And
The
for
current property
yourself?
we have in Hoover is on a half-acre lot. We're this close to our neighbors.
Very good.
That piece of property will allow us to have privacy.
Thank you, sir.
Councilman Sims?
Okay, I just want to be clear. So right now, there is no utilities through your property at all.
No,
It's
sir.
just something that never occurred, and, okay. That's all.
Okay. And I don't have any questions. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Do we agree to leave item number 1 on consent?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Item number 2, resolve that resolution 2025 R28 declares certain items from the Irondale Police Department as surplus and not needed for public or municipal purpose, and authorizes the disposal of such property by Mayor James D. Stewart Jr. or his designee to donation to the town of Trafford for use by the Trafford Police Department. Mayor, is there anything you would like to say on this item?
I was contacted by the mayor of the town of Trafford. They had 2 police cars, and the cars were damaged, and they were not able to purchase new vehicles. I don't know how they ended up sending the letter to Irondale, but anyway, I responded to them, and they said that they cannot at this time put a couple of cars in their budget. I knew that we had just purchased a plethora of cars here at the city of Irondale, and I thought, why not the city be a blessing to a smaller municipality to be able to help them out in their time of need?
Councilman London?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes, I have 3 questions. What year are these 2 vehicles?
2015 and a 2016.
All right.
Two 2015s.
2 2015s. Are these high mileage cars? Do we have a lot of mileage on them?
119 to 1. You got the
I
actual.
got this. Yeah. Yes, they are high mileage cars.
119, 119,000, is that?
He's deferring to me. It's my resolution.
Well, you called them up, that's why I was asking, sir.
Yes, they have high mileage on it. If you
Right.
want me to give you the actual mileage.
Yes,
hold on.
sir.
Hold on for 1 second.
While he's looking that up, do you mind asking the
Yeah,
third?
The third question is, are we gonna be replacing the cars that we donate?
We've already replaced the cars.
All right, so we're not gonna be replacing the cars we donate.
Exactly. Okay, let me read you. The cars, let me see, about 25,000 on each and will last another 100,000 miles with proper maintenance.
So they're 25,000's the mileage?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading something about the motorcycles. But yes, the cars have about 119, 120,000 miles on them. And if you want to see them, they're actually out there in the parking lot in front of the police building. So if you want to go out there tomorrow and check them out, you can.
No, I only had these three questions. I'm good, thank you.
Councilman Box?
No, I'm good. I think it's a great idea to help out a smaller city.
Absolutely. Councilman Sims?
No, no questions.
Okay, and I have no other questions. I echo Councilman Box. That being said, we agree to keep this on consent?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 3, resolve that resolution 2025 R29 authorizes the purchase of one 2016 Harley Davidson Police Road King and one 2017 Harley Davidson Police Road King from the city of Homewood, Alabama, in an amount not to exceed $8,000. Mayor Stewart?
We are considering starting, I guess you could say, using motorcycles as in the patrol fleet to be able to deal with traffic. These two motorcycles have about 25,000 miles on them each. They have the capacity to last for another 100,000 miles. The equipment and everything is on it that is needed. It's coming from the city of Homewood. They kept it in excellent condition. It's about $4,500. Let me see the equipment. It's about $4,500 to outfit it. Would that be correct, Officer Hassett?
To outfit a new one?
No, to outfit the ones that we got is already coming outfitted. But if we got new ones, it would be in the price range of about $25,000, and they still would have to be outfitted.
That would be about 18,000, beyond that.
Okay.
So for us, it's computer, radar, and radio.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty much an overview of those
Councilman, any
motorbikes.
questions?
Yeah, one question, training. You already have officers that's already trained to ride these bikes?
We do have one certified officer, and we'll be training another.
We train another one. Be honest, I'm excited about it. It's just something kind of been thinking about for many, many years. So I'm excited about seeing these motorcycles in our neighborhoods. I really am. And I just think what it'll do for you, get more personable with the citizens in Irondale, where you can stop and get off and talk to the citizen a lot easier. So I'm excited about seeing these bikes in the neighborhoods. Thank you.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes, just one comment, and I think it's a good idea. Are you planning to use these? Councilor London alluded to it, but with motorcycles, you're able to get to areas a lot easier than you would with a police vehicle. Are you planning to use them as events such as these types of events where you need to get down quickly and you can go in down with a motorcycle to get there? Right. Yes. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Councilman Box?
No questions. I'm very familiar with Motor Scouts, and I think it's a great idea. I've long been excited about us getting that here in Irondale.
Councilman Sims?
I think it's great. I guess how long till we see these like on the road? Once this is approved.
Equipment coming in.
Month or so, give or take.
Equipment takes time.
Got it.
We've got most of the equipment. We got to order a few things. Month and a half.
Hopefully we can get the rest of the cold weather out of the way.
Let's get us into a little warmer weather.
All right. Yeah, sounds great. Looking forward to seeing it.
And thank you. I have no questions. Do we agree to keep this on consent?
Yes.
All right. All right, item number 4, resolve the resolution 2025-R-30 authorizes the payment of a cash reward in the amount of $1,000 to certain city employees in recognition of such employees' exemplary performance as allowed by Alabama Code 11-40-22. Mayor, I know we've already had a presentation. Is there anything additional you need
No.
to say? Okay.
No.
Councilman London, I know that we've had a presentation. Anything in particular? Any
No,
questions
just
or comments?
excited to do this for these guys. These guys, man, they get after it. I really do. I mean, on your days off, you sit on your porch and you watch them just get after it. And so we're excited to do this for them.
Councilwoman Quayle?
No comments.
Okay. Councilman Box?
No, I'm happy about it as well. These guys well deserve it.
Yes.
Councilman Sims?
Oh, yeah, well deserved.
And myself, well deserved as well. We agree to keep item 4 on consent?
Yes.
All right. Item number 5, resolve the resolution 2025-R31 authorizes Mayor James D. Stewart Jr. or his designee to execute an agreement with Truist for credit card processing services at Ruffner Park Sports Complex. Sounds self-explanatory. Mayor, anything in particular you would like to say, or Mr. Blankenship for that matter?
I don't have anything unless Rich has something he wants to say.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Councilman London, any questions?
No question.
Councilwoman Quayle?
Yes, I do. I expressed concerns I had with having the city go into the business of operating concession stands, and one of the questions that I do have is, will the machines have the ability for customers to tip anyone that works in the concession stands?
Nah, these machines
No?
are straight revenue in.
Okay, and the credit card equipment and supplies, who pays for that?
The supplies,
Yeah, you know, if you have a receipt that prints out,
right?
you've got to have the tape that goes through that. Who's going to pay for that?
That would be part of our expense to build the setup and go with the machine.
And the credit card equipment, are you planning to have 1, 2? How many of these are you planning to have?
At the time, I think one would be sufficient
Okay.
to see what we do as far as our business intake and outtake.
And who is paying for that credit card equipment? Is it the city, or is Truist providing that?
Well, in the stuff that we submitted for this, it talks about the cost of the card reader, and it talks about the cost of the device itself. So those would be the cost up front to gain those items.
Okay. I know that at the end of each day, there's reconciling that needs to take place. Do we have any policies, any procedures? Is there anything that the employees will have as a guide so that they know what this process is and the reconciling that needs to take place every day? Is that something that our city clerk is going to be doing? Is it something that the employees are going to be doing?
I'll take care of that question. This is not the first credit card that we have in the city. We use credit cards, machines in the revenue department. Don't cut me off. You asked the question, let me finish speaking. It's rude to be able to do that. I'm trying to answer your question. We have procedures in place to be able to deal with credit cards. It's not our first rodeo. We'll use the same policies that we have here in revenue. We'll transfer those same policies to the concession stand.
Mayor Stewart, there are different policies for these types of machines. They are not the same. They don't operate the same. I'm familiar with them. There is a cutoff time, and they will tell you what that cutoff time is. Whether it's 8 o'clock at night, whether it's 7 o'clock or 10 o'clock, they will let you know. But there is a reconciling that needs to take place. And so just because we have policies in our revenue department, it is not the same. You're not comparing apples to apples.
It's the
I'm trying to
same.
get-
It's the
Excuse me,
same
sir, do
terminal.
not
It's
interrupt
the
me.
same
I
Point
am-
of
terminal.
order, point of order. One thing I
am
want to say
speaking.
I think pretty much every credit card company that sells a machine sets it to auto batch. Do we have machines that auto batch currently? Do you anticipate that these new machines will auto batch as well?
Yes.
So no human has to push a button in order for it to reconcile at the end of the day?
Not at all.
Fair enough, proceed.
Right, they do have auto batch, but you are allowed to continue to operate them if you need to operate them. And that's all I'm saying. I want to make sure that we have things in place just as we have the revenue, theirs is different, the senior activity is different. Yes, there is auto batch, but you are allowed to continue to use them. And I just want to make sure that we have that, because this is a different way of operating. It is a concession stand. It is not an 8 to 5 type of process. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Box?
I'm sure this is gonna have tap, slide, or plug it in, right?
All features.
That'd be my only
It
question.
also has the manual.
Oh,
Something's
perfect.
down, we
Okay.
can go in and manually input.
Thank you, sir.
Councilman Sims?
I just want to state that the information we have has that the terminal is a DES 3500 dial ETH, whatever that is. It's $309. There's one of them, and it's paid for by Truist in the contract. So they're providing the equipment so that they can, I guess, get all the fees. But yeah, let's sell some hot dogs.
And I'm good on this item. Thank you very much. Do we agree to leave this item on consent?
Yes.
Yes?
I'm willing to do that, yes.
Okay, thank you. We get into our regular agenda tonight. This is a second reading on ordinance 2025-02 that authorizes the selection of Plan 2 with amendments for redistricting the city and authorizes Mayor James D. Stewart Jr. or his designee to take all necessary steps and to effectuate this selection. Now, at a prior meeting, we had dueling ordinances. A different iteration has already successfully navigated the process. This is just this is a second reading, because when things do not pass, they have the ability to come back later. But regardless, it's something that we have to deal with, so we will deal with it accordingly. Councilman London, anything in particular that you have to say on this?
No question.
All right, Councilwoman Cuellar?
Well, Councilman Spivey, when we had our council meeting the last time, it was considered the second reading, and Councilman Sims was allowed to go on and present his reasoning for doing what he did. I would like you to extend me the same courtesy. First of all, I would like to note that the proposals I made for districts 4 and 5 that I made back in October were intended to increase their population numbers because they had the lowest population numbers. However, the decision whether or not to accept those proposals that I made was left up to them. It was their decision to make. I was not extended the same courtesy. As a result of the population numbers for District 3, they're going to increase even more than what's shown on the option 2 map. So it's even higher. And District 3 also has a larger geographic area to cover. The geographic area for Grants Mill Valley is much closer to District 1 versus that in District 3. If you were to take a compass and go in the center of District 1, take a compass and go in the center of District 3, you would see that Grants Mill Valley is much closer, and it's also much closer than Rock Ridge, that neighborhood that is across 20 and goes into 78. So none of this was fair to District 3. None of it was. From increasing the population, I would like to note that when we had our council work session on July the 5th of 2022, Councilor London, and I quote, said this, I don't want the council or anybody to be a design plan to just win an election. I want it to be where it should be, down the stretch, wherever we fall in. If we fall in, we just got to get out and win the election. This was a design plan. I was not giving the courtesy to say, yes, we will take the Heights, because I thought that was fair. But to make District 3 go further down, this is a design plan, when you got Rock Ridge way on the other side, and yet that remains in District 1. So Councilman Sims' proposed amendment raised concerns about his motives. The reason that it did was because it did not impact District 5, what he represents in pulling and pushing for this block data, this census data, to go into District 3. It divided a neighborhood, and Mr. Isom, and I quote from that same meeting, I had a question about, is there a way that I could make any additional adjustments to Holiday Gardens in District 5? Because the desire isn't to break up an entire neighborhood, and I understand that. I would love to keep it in a single district, but there's just too many people. That is not the case with the Grants Mill Valley neighborhood. In fact, what can happen there is you have one neighborhood, and if you've got some discretionary funding that is needed, you now have 2 counselors that can give you discretionary funding versus the other neighborhoods that only have 1 council member. That isn't fair to the other neighborhoods. There is no need to divide the Grants Mill Valley neighborhood. We need to be fair in the way that we do this. This is why we were told, don't do this, don't divide if you don't have to.
Thank you. Councilman Box?
Thank you, Council President. I realize on the second readings, and we definitely need to be appropriate and fair and have each ordinance, so I'm not gonna put it as a personal thing. It's business. Each ordinance stands or falls or works the process on its own merit and on the vote that the council gives it. So I'm just prepared for us to move forward with a vote on this.
Fair enough. Does that conclude your?
It does.
Okay. Councilman Sims?
The council has approved the map. It's been sent to the county. I think probate, is that correct? They're doing their thing. It's in process. It's been several weeks, I guess, but I don't know. There's nothing really to say. I don't support this one. We've already approved one. I just feel like we're wasting our time, but that's all.
Okay. I'll leave it up to, my comments would be, I would leave it up to the body as if it goes for a vote or if it's just removed. Councilman London, what say you?
Let's go through the process.
Take it through the process. Councilwoman Cuellar?
I'm asking that you gentlemen be fair to my district, the district I represent. You were not fair. You did not give me the opportunity
up for a vote?
to say, no, this isn't fair, whereas you had the option to decide.
Point of order. Put it up for a vote or remove it.
Please put it up for a
Thank
vote.
you. Councilman Box?
Once again, let's move
Okay.
forward and dispose.
And Councilman Sims?
We'll give up.
Stay with it. All right, I'll vote for it as well. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll move on through the rest of the items of deliberation. We also have item number 7 and 8, which are dueling ordinances. They will both be second readings. So first we have the second reading for ordinance 2025-05 that amends Chapter 2, Article 3, Division 1 of the Municipal Code of the City of Irondale, Alabama. Councilman Sims, this has your name next to it. Please tell us what you're trying to accomplish.
I guess basically the same thing I said last time. The salary for the position, again, none of this is about anybody sitting up here. This is whoever is lucky enough, to sit up here come November. So this is about the position of mayor, the position of councilor, researching what it currently was, basically back in, I think it was 2016, when the mayor's salary was set at $42,900. I just took that and adjusted for cost of living. And really the amount of 50 grand is about 10% under what the equivalent cost of living would be if you kept it on par. And that's using old December numbers, not even current. And then same thing for counselor, $1,000 was approved per month in 2012. And I took that, and again, it's about 89%. The new number of $1,350 a month of what the equivalent would be for a kind of resetting to cost of living is 90% of what it would be. And again, none of us do this for the money. I don't think anybody that raises their hand to go through an election process or to sit up here and do this for 4 years does it for the money. At the same time, you are being asked by the city and the people you serve to trade a lot of time. So no matter if someone might be retired, someone might own a business, someone might work hourly. People have families. You're trading a bunch of time away from those things to serve the city. And so I just think we should at least have it, some sort of a compensation for that
Fair enough.
trade-off.
All right. Councilman London, any comments about item number 7, Councilman
No,
Sims's
just-
proposal?
Just one comment. I think this doesn't take effect until November. Am I correct on that?
The next group.
council meeting, so no council up here is gonna see any of this unless they win the election in November.
Accurate.
So we're not doing this for them. So I thank Aaron for even thinking about the next generation of councilors who's coming after me, because I'm not a lifer. Promise you, I'm not a lifer. And if you don't believe me, ask my wife. And I'm not a lifer. So thank you, Councilman Sims, for thinking about the future council who's gonna sit here.
Councilwoman Cuellar on Sims's proposal?
Yes, I gave copies. I did not give you because I only had one copy of the council member information. I'm giving you the mayoral salaries again, in case you don't have them. But I did the research on council members, and again, I had no problem with increasing the mayor's salary because of the research that I did do, and it needed to be bumped up, and I explained why it needed to be bumped up at 50,000. And when you look at the council member salaries, it took a look at the municipalities from 12,001 on up. And if you look at Leeds, Eufaula, Alexander City, Jacksonville, Chelsea, Hartselle, Ozark, Saraland, Calera, Hueytown, Troy, Oxford, Pelham, Fairhope, Trussville, North Point, Opelika, Alabaster, Gadsden, Decatur, and Hoover, we're actually paid more with what we currently have, $12,000 per year. And there were comments that were made that said, we need to take account for cost of living. We need to attract better candidates to the city council. Well, gee whiz, I respectfully disagree with those comments because from what I have observed, everyone who has served has either been self-employed, fully employed elsewhere, semi-retired, or retired, and they did this out of a sense of civic duty for the benefit of our citizens. That's why they did it. There wasn't anything else. It was a sense of civic duty. That was the reason that I decided to run. And this is what we should be focused on, taking a look at what are the other municipalities doing. Majority of them, we're paid a whole lot more than they are currently. And so to increase it, without knowing that it's much higher than the other municipalities, guys, it's just, no. It's why I'm opposed to the council member increase. The mayor's salary, yes, it needs to be increased, but not the council member increase that. And it doesn't matter, if we're going to be the one serving, if we plan to run, you look at what are other municipalities paying, and that's what you base your decision on, not this other stuff. It's based on how are other council members. Are they complaining about the fact that they're not making $12,000 a year? No. Some of them have served for 2 terms. And they're not complaining. And if you look at Hoover, it's been 2,000 since they had an increase, and they're being paid $7,200 per year, and that's been since the year 2000. So this is a sense of civic duty that should be the focus, not what I'm going to be paid if I run for office.
Does that conclude your comments?
Yes.
Councilman Box?
One other thing, one other comment, if I may.
You have
The
20
other,
seconds.
the other provision that Councilman Sims added does not align with the city council's ordinance, which focuses on attendance. We have an ordinance that focuses on attendance. It does not align with that. That cannot be included either.
Councilman Box?
Okay, did Councilman London speak already on this, or did Councilman Praylor just present? I'm trying to
No,
get
we're,
track of-
Councilman Sims
I'm stating
presented.
why I opposed.
Councilman Sims presented, Councilman London's made his comments, Councilwoman Cuellar's made hers. It's your
Coming to me.
turn.
Fair, very good, thank you.
Yep.
100% the mayoral salary position deserves an increase. My constituents have made it clear to me that they don't feel that the council people deserve an increase. So my personal opinion, whether should I run again if I'd like to have more money, or should I run again if I don't think I deserve any money, or should I run again and deserve whatever raise that comes about is donated back to the city, really is irrelevant when my constituents have made it clear to me they are fine with the mayoral salary increasing, but they do not approve the council salary increasing. That's
Fair
my
enough.
comments.
I do not have any comments on this particular item. I'm just looking forward to getting into the movement of these pieces to see which one wins the day. That being said, we have item number 8, which is the second part of this. It is also a second reading. Once again, duly ordinances ordained that ordinance 2025-06 amends Chapter 2, Article 3, Division 1 of the Municipal Code of the City of Irondale, Alabama. Councilwoman Cuellar, this is your item, if you would care to present it.
Yes, Councilor President Spivey, thank you very much. I've stated some of the reasons why I believe that the mayor did need to have his salary increase, not so with the council members. I've explained. We are here to share our skills, our experience, knowledge for the betterment of Irondale. That's the motivation. It's not what I'm going to be paid. What's the financial gain for any council member? If you're having that view, please don't run. The view is civic service, a sense of civic duty for the benefit of the city of Irondale. And I asked my constituents and others that contacted me to share their thoughts and comments on this matter. And they all said yes to the mayor increase. There was only one that said no to the mayor increase, but everyone else said yes to the mayor's increase, but absolutely not for the council members to have this increase. They saw the data. I shared it with them, just as I shared it with y'all. And it doesn't take much to figure out, well, gee whiz, why is the council wanting to bump up the pay? And to say, well, you know, this is for November. Yes, it doesn't kick in until November. It doesn't. But everyone else that is serving on the council, look at what they're being compensated. What are council members compensated in the city of Irondale? Much more than they are at $12,000. It's fair. Leave it alone. Don't increase it. It doesn't need to be increased. And I made a copy of the ordinance to demonstrate that it does not align with the council's ordinance on attendance. Councilman Sims's proposal does not align. We went through months, almost over a year, in trying to get our sign ordinances to where they were consistent. We need to stay focused on being consistent with ordinances that we have in place. And we have an ordinance that deals with the matter of absenteeism for a council member. It's another reason that I was opposed to and did not include that in the ordinance that I sponsored. Consistency, aligning with our ordinances that we have on attendance. You got to focus on that. You can't just come up with something that addresses when we only meet twice a month. We're only meeting twice a month. Why are we now making additional exceptions for council members who are not unable to attend, when we already have a council ordinance for conducting the business of the city that already addresses council member absenteeism. You don't need to be doing this. This strictly focuses on salaries. That's all this is, and yet we're adding all these additional, when we have an ordinance already that addresses absenteeism. This is why I didn't include it in this one. These are my comments.
Councilman London? You have any comments on Councilwoman's Cuellar's proposal?
She was talking about me, I see, me not being here, so I guess that's why she's so happy.
I didn't say anything.
Let's yield the floor to Councilman London, please.
I'm the only one that hasn't been here, so, you know, I missed a few days. You know, probably gonna miss a few more days, you know, just the way it is, but, I guess, you know, if she wants to add it, that's up to the council, want to add it in. It don't really matter to me, you know, but, hey, life gets in the way sometimes, that's the way it is.
Does that conclude your comments?
That's my comment, you know,
Fair enough.
that's the way it is.
Councilman Box?
I
on
listened to your
Councilwoman-
prayer, I listened to your prayer.
Council,
I'm trying to stay
on
focused.
Councilwoman's Cuellar's proposal?
God bless us, everyone. I'm going to pull a Tiny Tim. We get to squibbling about so many unimportant things to me. I'm impressed that God is still putting his blessing in this city with our way of treating each other from time to time. It's time for one of these horses to live or die. Thank you.
Copy that. Councilman Sims?
I don't mean horses by the ordinances, not people. We're beating dead horses too much. Thank you.
First of all, item C, which talks about absences, is in our existing ordinance and it's been there. I did not add anything. The only thing that I proposed were numbers. Everything else is existing. Your ordinance has this exact language in it because you are only talking about paragraph 1. That means paragraph 2 stays exactly the same, which has this in it. So there's that. I don't know. Oh yeah. I don't think anybody is complaining, which you talked about the last time around. I don't know of anyone that's been up here complaining. Take that back. We have a difference of opinion on things, so that's fine. But not everybody, I don't want to draw a line on the limit of anyone that wants to raise their hand and run for an election. There may be someone that, again, is out there working hourly for minimum wage, trying to decide, do I have the ability to take time away from my family and my job to go serve because I really want to? $1,300 a month isn't going to solve that problem for them, but it's more adjusted to today's cost of living than it currently is from 12 years ago. And that's the whole idea. That's all I have.
Fair enough. Thank you. I'm not going to make any comments on the matter. Keep it moving. All right. So that is the deliberation piece of our agenda this evening. At this time, I would ask for an approval of the form of the agenda.
Make a motion, we approve the form of the agenda.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No no's, no abstentions. All right, fair enough. Now that we have agenda, we would ask for any public comments on agenda items only, with the exception of what was discussed in the public hearing. Any comments on agenda items only? With no comments on agenda items only, we'll go ahead and go through the approval of the consent agenda.
Move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor? Aye. All right, thank you very much. We come to item number 6 on the regular agenda, if it could be dealt with.
Move we
Wait,
approve
hold on a
ordinance
second.
2025-02.
Council President Spidey,
Yes, ma'am.
do our residents get to comment on agenda items?
I just asked for that. No one did.
Nobody came up.
Nobody came up.
No
Okay.
one came up.
I missed that because I was writing. I apologize.
I do appreciate you making sure.
Yeah, no, I apologize. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Sims, if you would proceed.
Move we approve
Moved
ordinance
it.
2025-02.
Second.
We have a motion to approve item number 6, and that has been seconded. Am I hearing this clearly?
You are.
Yes.
All right. All in favor?
No.
Aye.
No.
Let's do roll call. Councilman London?
No.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes.
Councilman Box?
No.
Councilman Sims?
No.
And myself, no. All right, motion fails. On its second reading, it will not return. Item num-
Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
Or-
okay. If we could, if item number 7 could go ahead and be dealt with?
Move we approve ordinance 2025-05.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll do a roll call. Councilman London?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No.
Councilman Box?
No.
Councilman Sims?
Yes.
And myself, yes. If we could go ahead and deal with item number 8.
I make a motion that ordinance 2025-06 be approved.
Second.
Motion, second, all in favor?
No.
Roll call. Councilman London?
No.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes.
Councilman Box?
Yes.
Councilman Sims?
No.
And myself, no. Motion fails. All right. That takes care of all the deliberations for this evening. We do not have an executive session. I would ask for a motion to
Motion.
adjourn.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman London, seconded by Box. All in favor?
We can schedule the water committee. meeting.
Absolutely. Everyone, please stay in your seats so we can noodle this out real quick. Thank you all for joining us this evening. You can cut off, yeah.